As the song goes, back on the road again. This week I was down in Mitchelstown, County Cork to meet Liam Roche, a dairy farmer. From humble beginnings, he's grown a very big business. When I visited in early April, like a lot of farms struggling with the weather and waiting to get cows out, I was there to talk about Precision Microbes, but I learned a lot more. Right, Tommy Heffernan, vet consultant here, back out on the road, and I'm here with Liam Roche. Morning, Liam. Well, it's late morning now.
Yeah.
We started talking, Liam, and probably you want to get rid of me at this stage, but 2 hours ago we started talking and you gave me a tour of the farm. Can you tell people a little bit about yourself, Liam, and where are we?
So I suppose we're farming here. We're milking 350 cows here in Mitchelstown. I suppose we've a split herd. We've two farms, two milking platforms. Probably 180 in one farm, 170 in another farm. I suppose here behind us is the calf house. All cows are calved and wintered on one farm. I suppose, look, we would have started when I came home first with 45 cows, and we've built it to what it is today.
Extraordinary growth, right? I would have heard about you before I met you, and I think we hit it off because you're not afraid of a bit of challenge, and I like people who are not afraid of challenge. Extraordinary growth over the years, Liam, to the numbers you are now. And I suppose one thing that, look, I came down here to find out how you're getting on with Precision Microbes and the calves, but you can't but leave and tell the story about the level of detail that's gone into the farm year after year around, people come in and say big shed and say big farm, but there's been a lot of work gone into that. A couple of things I've noticed and maybe I want to ask you about is there seems to be a big attention around the cow herself.
Yes.
Talk to me about your approach to the cow.
So I suppose, look, the cow, she has an awful lot to pay for in this yard, maybe. As you said, a big shed, big calf house. So I suppose from the time they're dry, we make sure they get plenty straw, plenty minerals. They get say the likes of oats and soya. Make sure they're in good condition calving down. Thankfully, this year we've had no issues worthwhile calving. Every cow calved generally on their own, no assisting. From the time then they go into the milking parlour, then they're on 3 kilos a meal, gradually brought up to 6 kilos a meal. They get maize, they get silage through the diet feeder, and a half a kilo of straw. I suppose, as you said, the attention to detail, we'd be, while two are milking in the morning, some fellas outside feeding those cows. I don't want the cows to be hungry at any stage. Cows are fed first thing in the morning, and silage has been shoved in maybe 6 or 7 times in over a 24-hour period.
The other thing I noticed when we go around, and we spent the last half an hour chatting to the two lads working here in the farm,
yes,
is the team.
And
I was listening to your starting out with whatever 12 cows, and you're going up along. You made it very clear that it's the team around you as well have helped you to do that. What have the lessons have been? Because reality is farms are getting bigger, and one of the challenges is people. What are the lessons you've learned around, I suppose, people and growing a team and having a fairly happy team? They're giving out but they're a happy team. We have a good solid team. What's the lessons there?
I suppose look, we all get on well. We always have. I don't think we ever had an argument, any of the three of us. I suppose, look, Sean and Dylan are the two men here. Like, they're fantastic. Without them, this wouldn't be as successful as it is. But I don't put in or out them too much, as long as the job has been done right. I don't look for the last thing to be done in the evening. They know themselves what needs to be done, but we all buy into the same system. We know what has to be done in the calf house, in the cubicle house, milking routine. Everything is so much. Everything is a routine, and the attention to detail has to be top class. Yeah.
And when I look at the attention to detail, you strike me as somebody who'll never be finished, right? So we went around inside in the crate down there. There's a Delaval for pushing up feed. We looked at a very unique system for the water, for sanitizing water, which I think is a real area of interest on farm. How do you get that mindset right? Or is that something you've always had that you're and it's not about spending money, but you're thinking ahead. What's the next thing I can add on here?
So I suppose, let me see, so our little girl, she'll be 8 this weekend. So I suppose we've 3 kids. I suppose a young family, I suppose there'll be a big attention put on how quick can we get the jobs done and milk all these cows and be back in to be free to go places or to do whatever you need to do or get finished up in the evening. So I suppose any year or on any given year, we'd always buy something to try and make life easy. let it be for me or for the boys or whatever it is, but just do something just to make a change in the farm. And I suppose we have a lot done in the last number of years between calf feeders, collars for cows, drafting gates. We have a lot done. I suppose we might be gone to a slightly different level now with the likes of the Delaval up the Duo to keep silage shoved in, keep intakes up. I suppose we would have a heavy farm here, so I suppose our winter is a little bit longer than more. But I just like to think if I can make the job easy for myself, for the lads, I can milk a few extra cows without anybody getting bothered or without just upsetting anyone, you know, because I am conscious that the boys, I suppose Sean is here since 2012. He came in here when we had 160 cows, you know, so
Yeah.
I suppose to milk the extra cows and to have his job pretty much the same, or not to be anything, not to have the day too long, you know. Look, we start early in the morning, we're started at 5:30, but we're milking again at 3 o'clock in the day, and I'd like to think that they'll be all gone home at 5 o'clock in the evening.
If I don't stop talking, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be
Yeah.
milking cows, Liam, as well. I had to cover that because I think when you stand back and you look at the attention to detail, the consistency, and a positive mindset, it's three of the recipes I would find from going around farms that people can learn from. So well done to you on that. Quickly on calf health then. Okay, we're in a fine calf shed. It's a continuing moving feast.
Yes.
Again, you've been adding and changing bits and pieces, but behind me is some very healthy calves. Key to successful calf rearing for you, what have the lessons been there?
So I suppose we built this calf house in 2020. I suppose slowly we're perfecting the calf house. As you can see behind us, we put up stock board. We just probably had too much Yorkshire boarding, possibly making the house too cold. But I would say this year we vaccinated the cows for scour. We vaccinated the calves for PI3, RSV up the nose. We use Precision Microbes. Plenty straw under them. Calves are bottled straight away. There's no calf left unattended. Every calf is bottled straight away. We've heat lamps over the baby calves. To just all the small issues, the small things make a difference. It's just having problems in a calf house like this, then it just adds too much cost and too much time. So it's thankfully this year now we've had no issues at all with
I'm
calves.
obviously going to say that
Yeah,
you've mentioned a couple of changes. Precision Micros have been part of that story. It's a tool again.
it is.
Have you
It
been
is.
happy with it?
Very happy. So I suppose from day one, the calves will get 30 ml of Precision Microbes in the beestings. They get in second milk. They get in milk for the first couple of days. They're on the feeder. Here it is. They get it through the feeder, and they've had no digestive upsets. We've had very healthy calves. Again, it's another thing to eliminate problems. Um, we don't want scour running through the shed, and I suppose I would pride on the fact that we sell all the calves here at home to locals. They keep coming back year in, year out. So we want good, healthy calves for that market. We generally don't sell in the market.
Yeah,
Just
attention to detail, mindset, and consistency come back there again. Liam, thanks for having me down this morning. I
you're
really
welcome, Tommy.
enjoyed it. I'm always, but I will ask you, right? Uh, maybe two questions. If you were to go back to that young chap who left school and took a chance, very much backed by your father and a good
Yeah,
relationship with
yeah.
neighbours, would you change anything?
God, I don't know. Bought a dryer farm. Yeah. No, look, I suppose probably not.
There's been lots of challenges, but you seem to me to, and this is what I like about people, and this is why I think it's important stories around farming. Lots of challenges coming down the line, Liam, right?
Yes.
We discussed it around nitrates, around maybe the whole perception of agriculture.
Yes.
But like you go in and you go onto farms, you see the level of detail, you see the effort that's gone into. I'm incredibly optimistic, and I think it's
Yes.
an important message. So when you look forward now, right? Okay, we won't look
Yes.
backwards. That was a hard question. But when
Yeah.
you look forwards to find, are you optimistic? Are you excited?
Oh, I'm very optimistic. Yeah, like I think there'll be great opportunities there. I think definitely. Yeah. Look, there is obviously environmental aspects. I would like to think we've things like that fairly well covered. We have a lot of changes made on the farm. But yeah, look, we've young family, and please God, that the next generation will be looking forward to it. And I suppose it's great to see them come in here after school or whatever, and they can run around here, and it's great to have it. Plus, you'll be on about perception and stuff. I suppose a word we'd have the local schools up every year. They can walk in here. The perception is maybe that dairy farmers might be careless from time to time, but at least I'd like to think that we've a good calf house, good calves, good healthy calves. It's probably good to promote that at the same time.
Careless is a word I wouldn't use with Liam. A man
Right.
would feel, you're like myself, you're not short of words. But listen, thank you very much for having me down
You're
here.
welcome, Tommy.
It's been a real pleasure to walk around the farm. And like that, I've picked up stuff today I've learned myself. Particularly
Very
fascinated with the water system in
Yes,
there.
yes.
And again, I love that thinking of just all those little bits. So
Yes.
continued success.
Thanks very much, Tommy.